Hey guys, welcome back. This is going to be the third lesson for Math 8. Sorry, blanked out. I spaced out completely. So this is going to be lesson 98 for Math 8. So before we start, I hope you have your power-up books because, I'm going to time you. I'm going to just be looking for my phone really quickly. Just right. Recording on my phone, I can't really time you. So hopefully you're doing your power-ups at home. I'm just kidding. You don't have to do them at home. And today we're going to talk about functions and relations. So hopefully this is going to be an easy lesson, I think. If you know what we're talking about and if you remember some of the things that I've told you before in the past about functions. So let's get into it. Okay, so let's get into it. So what you need to know is that everything that we're going to talk about today, they're all going to be relations, okay? So what is a relation? The relation needs to have two parts, just like any relationship. And I'm not talking about boyfriend, girlfriend. I'm talking about any relationship, actually, like friendship, like, father-son, mother-daughter, father-daughter, mother-son. All of those need two, okay? It's not like friend is going to have a friendship with no one. You can't really have imaginary friends. Well, you can, but if at the state you have imaginary friends, that's another whole issue altogether. And so what I'm trying to tell you is that for you to be able to have a relationship, you need to have two parts. In math, to have a relation, we need two things. And those two things are called variables, all right? So a relation is between two variables. So I'm going to tell you something. All functions are relations, but not all relations are functions, okay? Very big difference. And so what I'm going to do is I have two graphs right here. I know they're dots, but technically they are graphs. And so we're going to actually pass the vertical line test, okay? And so do you guys remember the vertical line test? I think you do, right? Yes, Andrew. That's correct. You see, Andrew actually remembered. That guy is smart. So he said that we have to have a ruler in which we are going to have an imaginary vertical line, vertical up and down, vertical in which we're going to pass through our graph. And if at any point that graph passes the vertical line twice, then it is not going to be a function. It's going to be a relation. So let me illustrate this for you. I actually, you guys are in luck because I brought my pocket ruler. I just left it over there. So let me just go grab it real quick. There we go. This is the one I carry most of the time. I put it right next to my pocket Bible. It doesn't really interfere. Let me show you real quick. If you put it in your pocket, voila. Where is it? I don't know. It disappeared, but then you pull it out. It's right there. So then we're going to have this, and we're going to pass it. And so in here, it crosses one time. In here, it crosses one time. Here, it crosses one time. In here, it crosses one time. So this is going to be a function. And then this one right here, the second one, let's do the vertical line test again. So it goes right here once, okay, right here once, that's fine, right here once, okay, that's fine. Right here though, it goes twice. You see right there, I don't know if the camera is picking it up, but I can actually tell I know the ruler is kind of small too, so it's kind of hard to see, but it actually crosses it twice. So in here, it crosses it one. And so that, because it didn't pass the vertical line test, this is called a relation. Sorry, forgot to spell momentarily. Relation. And that is what this is. So actually, let's get into the examples now. So moving right along, we get three graphs in example one, and they ask us, are these functions or are these relations? So to be able to know how to do it, we need to do the vertical line test, okay? So because I was drawing and stuff like that, I was a little bit worried that my pocket ruler might have gotten lost. So I put it right next to the book. Let me go get it real quick. All right, here it is. Again, I apologize if it's a little bit small and some of you can't see it, but try your best. And then what we're going to do is we're going to actually pass the vertical line test, as we go along. And so because in this graph, it never actually crosses my tiny ruler more than once. This is a function, okay? So this is a function. Function. All right. In my second graph, I have like a sad face. Yeah, because no school, I know. Sad face for no school. And so, but we're having school from home, okay? So it's not like it's all bad news. We can still get to have the fun at home that we have at school, except when not with your friends. So much better, I think. So again, we are going to do the vertical line test, and it's going to go again like this, very slowly, and it crosses it one time, all the way until it ends. And so it never actually crosses my vertical line test twice. So believe it or not, this is also a function. And so the final one, as for Mr. Silva, it's going to be something that we're going to check. And so we're going to check, and it goes like this, right? And so in here, boom, it already crosses it more than once. And so we know that graph C is not a function. And so we're going to say that it is actually a relation. But I forgot to spell again, and I started to write ration. I don't know why. Relation. Maybe I'm hungry. Okay, so we put relation, and that is the end of the first example. I know some of you think that this is very easy. I agree with you. And also, I know that some of you are amazed that the ruler disappeared completely. I know, that's the power of the tiny ruler. Okay, in example 2, we were supposed to draw a circle. And I know this is actually one of my best circles. So you see, I not only can draw rectangles, triangles, I can draw circles too. So hopefully, one day I have enough time to be able to teach you how to draw beautiful circles like that too. And so I drew the circle as they told me in example 2, and I have the little table here, and now we have to go do the vertical line test. But what are we going to do? We don't have the ruler. I don't know. Oh, wait, it's right here. So now I know. Surprise, I just caught it from thin air. It appears, but no, it was in my pocket all along. It is then going to be passed, right? Like right here. And so right here, it's kind of passes through one point, but like literally right here, it's just 2 points. And we already know this just by looking at the graph. And so this is something really important that I need you guys to pay a lot of attention to. And so I'm going to put my ruler in my other pocket so that, you can't see it at all. But look at this. So for x, the x value, I have 2 y values. And so this is really important. Functions cannot have more than one of the same x value. What does this statement mean? Let's read it again. Functions cannot have more than one of the same x values. So I can only have an x value for one time in the graph. But in here, I have -5, then I have 0, 0. You see, the x value of 0, 0 repeats itself, and that's why this is not a function, because it cannot have more than one of the same x value in one graph. And so that is actually called the domain. So what we're going to say, the x values are called domain. So for a function, The domain never repeats. So you can never have x to be the same number. You can have the y values be the same, which the y values, by the way, if you didn't know, the y values are called the range. You can have the range repeat itself all the time. Do I have a problem with the range be 0 and 0 here? No, I don't. I only have a problem because my domain, meaning my x values, repeated here, and that's why it's not a function. And this is really important because most of the math that we're going to do from now on has to do with functions. Okay, so some of you might be asking yourself, how come we don't have example 3? Because I went over example 3, and I think example 3 is more about scatter plots, and actually that's called the word escapes me, but it's not relevant to this particular lesson because this particular lesson is about whether or not a graph presents a function or presents a relation, and you have to know which one is a function and which one is a relation. And that one is just a prediction. That's the word I was looking for. It wants you to predict according to a line that you're supposed to draw how many students this guy, his name is Preston, how many students Preston counted or something like that. But that is not relevant to the examples. And if you go to the practice set, you'll see that I'm right. There's nothing like that in the practice set. All you have to do is look at the tables and then look at some graphs to do the vertical line test. So again, vertical line test, very easy for the ones that are graphed, that are actually that the curve you can be seeing. This is called the curve. Even if it's a line, it's called the curve. And then this is the table. And so to be able to know what the table is, that the x can never have the same value twice, because if it does, then it is obviously not a function, like I just explained it. And that is it for this lesson. So I hope you liked this video. I hope that it was educational. I hope that it didn't make you too jealous with the circle. I'm sorry about that, but I'll try to get back to that maybe when we get back to school. I don't know, but hope you learned the difference between relations and functions. Thank you to all my likers, commenters, subscribers. I mean, all 12 of those subscribers. Thank you so much. We're taking off soon enough. I'm going to get to that 10th. To the 1,000 mark, and before you know it, 10,000, 100,000, a million. I'm gonna get that gold button for YouTube, and I appreciate that. And if you like this video, like, comment, subscribe, and hit the bell for notifications when the new video comes out. All right, so I'll see you guys in the next one.